Hi, we are talking about the Sabbath. Well, and this is a very important matter where very many people they say that Jesus did not want us to keep the Sabbath because he was with his disciples. They were eating. They were eating. They were plucking the ears of the corn and eating. All right. So we will read the text and we will see in its context what does it mean. At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of God, and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. So we will read, of course, the Pharisees, they misunderstood the keeping of the Sabbath. They understood it to be sleeping during all day and then eating lunch, and then after the lunch they had to sleep. They went to the service during the morning and then they slept during all the day, doing nothing. And till now they turn off the light and they sit, without light if it is night. The night of Friday. No, but the ministers of God, they're working for God. They need to be, they need to use the things for their service in order for them to continue. Which means, if I'm working for God on the Sabbath, the sunset of Friday, and I don't have light, and I'm writing a paper, and it has to be for God, and I'm sitting in a place where I need to use electricity or energy. Well, if I don't use energy, means I'm fanatic. I'm not right because I'm doing the work of God, which means I need to fulfill my needs in order for me to continue in this ministry. So the woman of God has to prepare the house, of course, together with her husband and the kids. They have to prepare the house and they do the preparing for the Sabbath. That's right. But a woman of God or a man of God or a child of God, if they are on a ministry, they could not really prepare for the Sabbath because they were on a ministry and they have a ministry now, and tomorrow they have to minister as well. So they did not have time to prepare. It's not wrong if they go buy something for themselves to eat. And on the Sabbath, like serving the minister for the sake of the service of God is not wrong to eat, to pluck the ears of the corns. If the disciples, they went to the field and they were just plucking the ears of the corn, neglecting the preparation day, and they had time to prepare, this is wrong and terrible. But because they did not have time to prepare for the Sabbath, they were working on a ministry. We know that Jesus did not rest. For 3 years and a half, he was going from a place to another, and he was preaching and ministering all the time. He was not resting, and he said, I work like my Father. He was working all the time for God. So, of course, if he plucked the ears of the corns, there is not wrong. And here he tells them that David ate of the shewbread, which was only supposed to be eaten by the priests. But David was blameless because he also was doing the work of God. He was running away from Saul, and he was preserving his life because he is the anointed of God. He is a son of God, and God is going to work through him. So he was, and now here Jesus says, or have you not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? You know, Peter said that we are priests and kings, of God, and we are ministers of God. So the people of God, when they do ministry and work for God and live for God all the time, they are not profaning the Sabbath. If they did something like eating or plucking the ears of corns, or maybe putting a potato in the fire, if they did not have time to prepare for the Sabbath, they were working for God all the time, all the time. So God knows. But if they were not working for God, they were working for themselves, having their own works, and then using the Sabbath to um, to cook and to do their own things. This is wrong. This is profaning the Sabbath. This is not keeping the Sabbath holy. We are to keep the Sabbath holy by preparing. We are not to neglect the preparation day. And God knows better than us. When He gave us the preparation day, He meant to do it because He wanted us to prepare for the Sabbath. We are not to neglect it. But there are ministers who are working 24 over 24 for God. Even when they sleep, they call them, come and do this, come and do this. And Jesus and His disciples, they were of those ministers. They were working all the time. They did not have time to prepare. So, of course, Jesus here is telling them to have mercy. He told them, I say to you that in this place, one greater than the temple, because Jesus is greater than the temple, knowing that we are the temple of God and Jesus is our head. And here He told them that He needs mercy. I'll have mercy and not sacrifice. And here again, He announces to us that He is